because like even what you just said, I thought about. So I'm in a season of I don't know for a
Yeah.
lot of things, because like there's certain seasons that like even before like I'm about to start working on another book, so it's like right before like when I was about to like really just sit down and write, like in
Yeah.
a season it was like I don't know nothing.
Right.
Like, and I read this I don't like it's kind of in the Bible, but it's in a different way. But this is the way I heard it, is that like you can have like the fools think that they have wisdom, but it's like the wise know that they know nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like I really don't know nothing. Like, and I feel like I'm in that season with a lot of things right now. And I think, but one thing that I know for sure is like you said, like emotions.
Yeah.
So emotions, all emotions are is energy in motion.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, there's certain things that you can give life to, and you can have motion in that, and depending on how you feel in that moment, that's what you're going to like in a sense push out to other people.
Yeah.
And so like I think that's really like important to know, because it's like, yo, like if you don't know where you are, how are you gonna be able to actually have a conversation without your emotions getting to a place already, instead of actually being like, yo, like I'm kind of feeling sad today.
Yeah.
And so now you look for a emotion in order, or a thing, or so, like something to make you in a sense draw closer to that emotion.
Yeah.
And so I think like that's one thing, like, but that comes with self-awareness, that comes with sitting with yourself, but most people don't. So I think it's like that thing. And then like also like when it comes to the knowledge, you can have knowledge, like you were saying something really important when it came to that. And I think to clarify even deeper, so in that,
whoa, that thing flew over here.
Move a little bit. Okay, it's cool. Yeah. It's cool. All right.
That was a big gas up.
Oh man, but no, you good. So like to clarify, like to go deeper into that more, so it's like people can have knowledge. They can have facts. They can have their truth. But is it the truth? Is it talking about the way and leading you to everlasting life?
Right.
And so like the things, the knowledge of this world is nothing in comparison to the knowledge of God and the wisdom of God.
Right.
So I think like more so it's like people say that they have knowledge on like, oh, there's 20,000 million different galaxies in the world. Like they can have that, and don't look. I don't know the science.
I know. I know. Yeah.
But like they can have knowledge of this world.
Yeah.
But is it talking about or leading you back to the knowledge of God? Because He's the source of all. And if you don't have like knowledge on Him and wisdom, like in relationship with Him, then it's like, yo, like you really dumb. You really a fool.
Yeah, and not all knowledge is useful knowledge.
Yeah.
Like you could know a million things. You could have a library and know every book in the library, but all those books ain't gonna like. Okay, you'll be able to speak better. You'll be able to know more terms. You'll be able to like look at things differently or whatever. But do you have knowledge like on yourselves on how to treat others? Do you have knowledge on how to be compassionate?
Yeah.
Do you have knowledge on how to understand your own emotions, or do you just know what you read?
Yeah. Or the purpose of life too.
Yeah.
Because like people be stuck like, why am I even here? You know, like, and I think that's really important for like people to know in this season, because it's like a lot of people be like, I'm just gonna go like waste my life away, or like try to commit suicide because they don't understand the purpose of life or why they're even there.
Yeah.
And I think like if you like when you get in a relationship with Abba Daddy God, He got you for sure. You know, like, and I think that's one thing. Like,
I think a big thing people face is anxiety when going through that whole I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are in a season of I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And because people don't know what's going to happen, they don't know the future, they don't know like it could be good or it could be bad. They kind of get like a little too stressed out over like what if it's bad or what if it's good. Like they don't know. And I personally believe that being in the season I don't know is a good thing. I think that it's good to not know. Because for one, it's what keeps life interesting. But for two, it's that you don't really have to know the future. You don't really have to know what's going to go on. You just need to know that right now, in this moment, I'm alive, I'm content. I'm not really, I mean, no, everybody go through their own struggles, but I'm not really too stressed. I'm not really too bothered. Like right now, in this spot that I'm sitting right now in life, I'm good. Right? And I don't know what could happen. And I do need things to happen for the future. But those are things that you can leave it up to God. Give to God and let it go. Right? And I'm a heavy believer that you can always look at things through two different perspectives. So saying that I don't know, you can look at that from a different perspective. So instead of saying like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen next, I don't know if something's bad can happen, you could say, okay, I do know what happened in the past, and I do know what's happening right now. And I know that in the past, I've been through situations where I don't know what was going to happen, and right now I'm here. Right now I'm good. You do know that. So there's nothing like, even through bad times, even through struggles and all that, you still made it here to where you are at your highest spot. So using that as evidence and using that as your different perspective should give you the confidence and the push you need to not stress so much over that I don't know for the future. Because you know that, okay, good things gonna happen and bad things gonna happen, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be sitting right here, content, at peace, going through struggle still, because it's struggle every day, but it ain't too deep at the point where like life just falling apart. I think that for most people that think that their life's falling apart, they are going through hard things, but they don't have the capacity to recognize the blessings that they have. Right? And blessings don't have to be like, okay, you get this big new job or you get this big new car. That ain't what your blessings can be. Your blessings are you just having a roof over your head right now.
Literally.
You just having something to eat. You waking up. You brushing your teeth and all that. Like, those are blessings. All those things are blessings. You being able to go to school, even if you can't afford the school necessarily, just being able to get there, get accepted. Have your, like for me, people, international students flying over to your school. Right? All those are blessings. People don't have basic needs. And you have all of that plus opportunities. So you blessed. It's just it ain't exactly what you want. Right? But don't let that get you in your head and make you think that you don't get nothing. Right? You have to learn how to appreciate the smallest things in life before you can be able to appreciate the big things. So
okay, Flo. Yeah. Cause like, no, for real though, that's deep. Cause I know also like, you know, this might look. Hear me out. Look, I say things that it's like you gotta read the whole thing, or like read the whole book. Like if y'all buy the book, read the whole book, because you gonna see some subtitles like what, like, and it just make you like what, but that's just like how he created me to be. So it's like one thing that I like when I disciple people, I tell them, I was like, hey, give up. Like literally, they like what, and I'm just like, no, for real, give up. You said that you don't know how this is gonna work. I just want you to give up. And what that looks like is, or why did I say that, is because the more that you release into I don't know, and like I don't know how to do this without him like being or leading me into the truth and leading. He the one who created this world. Like, so it's like he knows my beginning and my end. He knows how I'm gonna get to each place and destination on that. Like, so it's like, why am I not going to just give up and allow him to show me? And why am I trying to like hold on to knowing my truth and knowing my desires in that moment and in that season? Because those things change, because they waver. And so it's like, no, like give up what you think that you want and allow him to be the one that pushes you into the promise that he has for you. And so I think that's like one thing that's like, yo, like just give up. Like he got you. And I think like even more so, and this is kind of touchy, but it's like when I was like really like contemplating suicide, what he showed me in that moment is like, give up. You was trying to, you was about to be over here trying to kill yourself. How about you actually stop, give up, and allow me to give you new life?
Take the time you need.
Yes,
to
like
process and get through everything. Yeah.
So it's like you coming to the end of yourself. That's perfect, baby. Because then I can take you into the promise. Then I can take you into the things that I have for you, because you've given up your life, and now you're walking into me, like actually being able to use you, and you being a willing vessel. Because now it's not about what you want. Now you're a dead man in a sense. Like, not for real, but but like like you're literally like, you're not phased like when people try to say anything to you. You're not phased when you say the truth and not your opinion anymore, and people get offended and they try to deflect based off of that, and they try to call you something. You don't care about that because you're dead to that now. You've given it to me, so it's like, just give up.
I feel that I agree with that. I've lived through that with just where we are right now on this YouTube channel, right? I made this YouTube channel years ago.
Wow.
And I started doing videos, and it was around the time where like I couldn't really find people to do videos with. Is that a wall?
That's a wall.
Yeah. You leave it alone and leave us alone.
Yeah.
But it was around time where I couldn't really find people to do videos with. I wasn't really sure like what kind of content I wanted to do. And like it was a lot of things that I was trying to figure out. Right. And then with school on top of that, I didn't really had time for it like I thought I did. So it was one of the things where like it was stressing me out at first, and then like you said, I gave up on it. I didn't touch the channel for maybe 2 years. And earlier this year I was having a conversation with somebody about the podcast and stuff, and they were telling me like different topics I could do, different examples that I could use in order to get it started. And I started watching podcasts myself, and I started I realized that listen, I could talk about what I'm going through already. Talk about things that I need to tell myself through my own isolation journey. Talk about these things and like kind of give people this awareness. And I knew God pushed me to do it. Because as I was saying this, I've never actually like really, because I spent so long in my isolation journey, I've never took the time out to actually reach out to anybody and like talk to them about any ideas that I have as far as like content creation or YouTube or anything like that. I've never done that. There was 2 people that reached out to me because I was just having a regular conversation with them, and then they reach out to me later on. They would be like, "Hey, this would be a good idea for like a podcast or something," which is crazy. I never talked to them about it, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start it. And originally, I had the fear that it was gonna be like how it was when I first started the channel, right? But because I gave up that first time, and I already started it a little bit that first time, it was knowledge that I already took into it. I already knew how to do a little bit of editing. I already knew like what to do with all the videos and stuff like that. It became easier. It became like an added progress to what I already had to work with. So, and then I also was not fishing for ideas to do videos. I wasn't fishing for people to do videos with. I could just sit down and talk and do it myself. So it became less of a stress and more of just something I could do. Even when I'm personally going through something and I need to talk about it, I could just sit down and try and talk about it and just talk. So it took me giving up from a couple of years ago to be able to be where we are right now and talk to you right now and have this channel going. So you can see how that would be useful advice. It don't sound like it would be useful advice at first.
Because you gotta listen, like
it takes like a different perspective. It takes you actually saying, okay, she ain't telling me to give up, like completely give up everything, but like give up on the things that's like giving me stress right now. Give up on the things that's like making my life too difficult right now, and give myself the time to invest in me, to increase my mental, to pray, to go through this journey before I go back into those things. I could still do these things later on in life when the time is right. But if I trying to do this right now and it's just completely stressful, completely hectic, ain't nothing going right now, that means that obviously today, right now ain't the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Right now in the time. If you going through something, if you want to do something, and it's just everything going wrong, and don't make yourself do it. Right? Even if it's gonna push you back a year or two, that's fine, because you still got time through Christ. You still got time, whatever He give us, and your main priority should always be remaining calm, remaining in a good mental space, and just making sure you're praying, making sure you're good mentally, you're good where you're at, right? If this thing ain't helping you to be good where you at, you need to cut that out. Like you say, give up on it for the time being. It don't have to be permanent, or it could be permanent. You could be trying to do something that you really don't need to do for real,
literally,
right? But like you say, give up on it and take the time you need for yourself, and you could always just go back to something in the future.
Yeah, and I think like to add to that, I think I was supposed to share this. Like, I know for me, I wanted to, like, I was a golf pro, so I went to college, played D1 golf, and I also majored in golf. So
I didn't even know you could major in golf.
Yeah, it's real like low key, but it's like 12 universities.
What did they teach you in golf?
So like how to manage golf courses, all that stuff.
Oh, so like on like the business side,
teaching, because the golf industry is like, I think over 84 billion. It's way more money, like revenue that's made in golf than it is in like basketball, NBA, NFL. So like when people, all the NBA and NFL players play golf. Yeah. So it's like they be like, so it's like the biggest industry. So when it comes to that, like I majored in golf, went to school for it, and I've gone through a lot of like that's a whole nother testimony. Like my golf and then life is two different things. But like I know when it comes to that, it's just more so like I did all the stuff to get where I needed to go. Got shadowed a lot of like top professionals, all of that good stuff. And I think I started like right out of college, and this is nothing but God, but I got I was a director of instruction of a golf course. They had like 72 holes, and that's a big operation in a sense. And it's like I'm 22 years old, 21, and I'm like, most people don't get that until like 30s. Yeah. So it's like I was just like, dang, this is a lot. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. Like I literally sat in that office on the first day, praying, reading my Bible. I didn't know like how to structure anything. I'm like, you need to lead me. And so like it was just really like that. And so like stuff happened with that course, and so like after that, like he told me to take a break and just write the book, like finish the book. And like, so yeah, I just had to finish the book. I was like, yo, I had to, like, I went in a season of like just giving up golf. Like I didn't play golf, didn't think of golf, didn't do nothing with golf for a year and some change, because I needed to finish what God told me to do. And it took me being disobedient and me trying to, oh, well, you told me to quit, but I need some money. So I'm going to start, I was supposed to start this then. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to just do it then when I'm supposed to be doing something else instead. Yeah. And so like that deal fell through. And so it's like, dang, like, and then we asked God why. It's like, he's like, you know why. Like, and so like that right there, like, and it took like another year. Like it's delayed because of my disobedience. Right. So it was like, okay. So I finished the book, and I ended up like in that season of me actually writing and me delaying myself in the things that he had. It was just like, yo, like I'm homeless. Like I literally got evicted, homeless, sleeping in my car, but I was the most peace-filled there, because in that it was almost like, dang, like I've had visions for like years, like of me sleeping in my car, and it was almost like I knew that was the time for me. And so like most people like, God will never tell you to do that. I'm like, nah, he showed me a vision of me doing this, and it was like he like in that middle of like what to the world looks like, dang, like this is bad, like this is treacherous. It's like, no, like he really like humbled me, like in that season of like, dang. And even though I didn't have money, it was almost like he provided the funds for me to like, and my heart was open to a different degree of like seeing homeless people, because it's like I'm there now, and it's just like, dang, like let me get you some food, like you ain't got no. So it's just like he will like humble you in the midst of that. And I think like through that process of me like leaving golf and like doing all of that stuff, it's like, yo, like now I can actually step back with a open, humble heart that I didn't have before. That when I saw like a homeless person at the golf course asking them for food, and they would just scoff at them and say no. Now it's like, no, like we're getting them some food right now. You know, like you tripping. Like so it's like there's certain things that like doors wouldn't open then, but now they're starting to open now. Because it wasn't the time. But now when it's like, yo, when it's the time to do things, he will open the doors for you. And it's not gonna be hard. It's easy when like you're in his presence. Everything's easy when you're doing it in the present that he has for you to do it in. So I think that really
I also think that like speaking of like the time to receive our blessings, like blessings can be missed. We can't miss them. Like it could be this new car that have my name on it, and if I ain't at the place where I am to receive that blessing, that big of a blessing, that's gonna miss me. And it could be the case where I could get it again. It could also be the case where it never happened again. And that's all on me. And like in my growth, like if I know that I'm supposed to be doing a certain thing, being consistent, being on myself in certain ways, and I ain't been doing that. When I get to the place now that I have to get my blessing, it's not gonna happen. Because I'm not, even though it might be the right time, I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. So I think that's a big thing too, with just growing and not falling back in the bad habits, and then keeping like, I feel like a lot of people think that a lot, like you were saying, they'd be like, God wouldn't do that for you. But this is the same God that flooded the world. This is the same God that, like, you know,
he chastised the ones he loves. So like when people say that, it's just like, if he love you, he gonna mollywop you. Like for real.
And it's because he know that we can. He knows that we can, and he wants us to be able to do it. Right. So if we ain't doing it, if he say keep me first, and you there praying to something else, you ain't gonna get your blessings. It's not gonna work like that. And another thing I tell people, well, friends that I've talked to that's been going through this, is that you can't just be thankful when you get your blessings, and then when you go into a rough part, say, oh, I don't know if God's gonna do this for me. Say, I don't know if he really looking at me. I don't know if he really answering. You doubting your own blessings, even though he's blessing you as we speak, because you on the phone talking to me right now.
You breathing.
Exactly. Right. And it's things that you can say and things that you could feel that would just completely like shatter things for you. You're supposed to be able to like have a strong foundation, strong enough that even when you go through these things, you don't just say, well, you know, God giving up on me. You pray through it more. Right? And you go through that tough time, and even though it feels tough, it feels suffocating, it feels like you want to give up, still pray through it. And at the end of the day, the blessings that you get at the end of that is way better than what you could possibly get to begin with.
And the blessings are like even in the process too.
Right.
Like, cause one thing that I like, he really had to show me in that, like when I was homeless and stuff, like he had to show me the process, like the blessings in the midst of the process. Cause like it was one time where it's like, and I was just like, just sitting there, like I was like, God, like I don't know about this. Like, I'm supposed to be in a mansion. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? And it was just like, he really had to humble me in that season. And it's like, it was a season where it's like, yo, like I didn't take a shower. Like I couldn't take a shower for like a week or two.
Right. And that's probably something you took for granted.
Yeah. And it was like, and even in the midst of that, it was like, okay, even though I stank, you know, and stuff like that, it's like, I'm still gonna worship God in the midst of this. And like really like thinking about like the small things that I have right now. Well, I have a water bottle to brush my teeth. You know, my my roommate hot. You know, so like thinking about the small things, like, and really worshiping him in the middle of that, really like showed me like to be more like see the blessings that he had and be like, yo, like, and so like when I did get a chance to get a shower, I was like, yo, this is like, and it was like, even though it's like when you worship him, even in the midst of you not having it here on earth, it's almost like you worshiping him even up to you not having it there is different than you just worshiping him when you get it for that one little quick second. And because it's like we've been so entitled, like we've been like we've been here and we've grown accustomed to this system that it's like raised us to be entitled.
And we definitely are, like, just growing up, our parents made sure we good, and we definitely are relying on that. We feel entitled on that because I've never seen a day where I couldn't shower. I've never seen a day where I couldn't brush my teeth. I've never seen a day where I didn't have a place to sleep, a roof over my head, because my mother made sure that never happened to me. And that is something that I took for granted. That's something that I've always seen. And I'm like, okay, but why you don't have no place to stay? Like, what you dealing with? What you up to, right? And it took me, not necessarily going through a rough patch like that, but I wasn't homeless, but it did take me like sleeping on a friend's couch and stuff like that to realize that those things, my name ain't on them. Right? I'm not entitled to get those things. They ain't for me. That's just something that I have the luxury of receiving. Right? So I now, every time I pray, I thank God for like the smallest thing, like anything, like a shirt to wear, just drawing breath, waking up, opening my eyes in the morning, having lights, having a bed, having a car, all these little things. And like, I realized that, at least for me, when I start thanking him for all these little things that's going on that I have every day, when negative things come around, I don't see them as such a negative thing. Like, yes, it happens and it still bothers me a bit, but it's not to a point where I'm like, damn, why does all these things keep happening? It's not to a point where it's like, wow, like this just ruined my entire day. No, because okay, this one bad thing happened, sure, and it's bothering me at this second time in this moment, but guess what? I still have my car, I still have my apartment, I still have clothes, I still have, you know, I could still do things, I still have options to go about and get this thing up in mind and just move forward. So I don't look at negative things such a negative light, and I wasn't able to do that until I started looking at the positive things for what they are. So it was definitely something that, it wasn't even a struggle, it was just something I didn't do. It was just something that I didn't know I had to do. Like you said, entitlement. Right?
Entitlement. Because even like seeing, because I just like went out and like, so when people, like, he dropped me away from the church I was at too. And so like he said, okay, so instead of you going to church, I need you to go out to the homeless camp and just pray for people and talk to them. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so the more I started to do that is the more I started to find out like certain things is like how people actually treated them. They spit on them. They do all these things because that entitlement, that spirit of entitlement is like so heavy on people who actually have all of these things. It's like they should have this stuff. Like they can just go get a job. Some of them actually can't. You know, so it's like it just kind of broke my heart. Like, dang, like I was more so grateful. It's like, dang, at least I have a car to sleep in. I'm not sleeping out. Because it was like 11 degrees. Like when I was, so it was like, dang, like what the heck? Like I don't know how they do it. So I think like, yeah, it's just that like being real. Like he'll definitely humble you if you don't get right. He gonna get you.
I feel like a big part of it is that a lot of people feel like they don't know how to be vulnerable, or that they try not to be, because they see vulnerability as like a weakness. But it's really not. It takes strength to be vulnerable. It takes strength to show vulnerability, because you really showing people like how you actually feel on the inside. You ain't putting on a mask and playing it off. That's easy.
Oh, for sure.
To like not give nobody no insight on how you feeling and all that. That's easy. But to actually give you the raw interpretation of what's going through in my heart, that takes strength to do. Because I don't know how you're gonna react to it. I don't know if you're gonna make fun of me, take advantage of me, do whatever. like start to use her as an excuse to call me names, call me weak or whatever. So that takes strength to do. But it's something that you need to do. You need to be able to be vulnerable with yourself. You need to be able to be vulnerable with God. You need to be able to be vulnerable with others too.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, people ain't gonna be vulnerable with you. Otherwise, you can't be your real true self. In a sense, like if I can't tell you exactly how I'm feeling, then what's the point of having friendship? Right? If I can't be vulnerable to you, then if I feel like I got to put on a mask for you, then why are we friends?
Right.
I don't need that for my life. I need people who I can like talk to
and encourage.
And and encourage me. And we could get the situation together. We could grow together. We could learn from each other. We could be vulnerable to each other. That's what I feel like makes a true, genuine connection with somebody. I feel like a lot of people just don't want to be in a vulnerable state, or they're fearful of a vulnerable state.
Yeah, because it's like we've been raised to like have this strong look of like I have my own beliefs or I have my own this and the third, and it's like like, but it's almost like but in your weakness, that's when he's able to be strength, and that's when he's able to like rise certain things in you that you didn't even know existed, you know? And it's just like, I don't know, like I just kind of just be over here like, well, I don't know, like I need like, and I need help, you know, like I admit to like certain people, it's like, yo, like whoever he leads me to, because I don't really talk to as many people as I used to. He told me to cut a lot of people off when I was homeless, like, and I could have had places, you know, like friends, and it was like, they would have been a hindrance in that season where he needed to isolate me. Yep,
that was your isolation.
Yeah,
you needed to.
It was another one for sure. So it's like, dang, like, and everybody was like, dang, like that's, you know, that's kind of, you know, to the world it seems stupid. And it's just like, no, like, that's where he needed me to be. And I couldn't have people, and I can see now, it's like, I just couldn't have people in that environment that wasn't conducive for, like, the things that he was trying to, like, put me in incubation on, like, and it was just a time of, like, if somebody told me that God would never, you don't know the same God that I serve, because, like, he be doing, like, it says in Isaiah 45, it talks about, like, how he's the God, and this is to most people that would catch them off and be like, oh, you know, but this is what the Bible say. It's basically saying that, like, he's the God of good and evil.
Right.
He created good and evil. So it's like, come on. Like, he's the one who created the tree of knowledge of good and evil too. He's like, he created all of these things, and he gave us a choice. He wants to give us a choice, good or evil. Which one are you going to choose?
Baby, I'm the realest, like to hop up on your same. So please look it, don't take me for no lame. I know it seems intense to deal a nigga from the island, but don't fall under pressure, I promise I'll keep you smiling.